All right, this is an end-to-end test of the full file import and driver-to-member reconciliation process. So just gonna go out here real quick, show no data out in the database for MSR or no new members. So go ahead and upload a file. Been through this in previous videos, so nothing too interesting here. Go ahead and load in a file, see everything goes okay. And as expected, we will have 146 records out in the database. Back over here, now what we're looking for is reconciliation now that we have imported one of those files. And we can see that I haven't messed with scores yet, still focused on drivers, and there are 146 drivers to reconcile. Click on this and it'll pull up all of the rows that just got inserted for the drivers for the MSR file. Does give us the ability to edit any of these records here first time through. Not going to place any changes to the edit. I'm sorry, not going to make any changes to the drivers. All right, so this is expected again. So we didn't have any existing members, so our percent match on everything is 0. And you can see that in yellow, it's showing all of the fields that there are no matches on. We can also see that everything is defaulting to creating a new member. And so this is expected. There were no members out inside of the database. Again, come over here. There are no members. And so that's expected that we don't have any members that we're going to match on. So we're just going to keep all the defaults for all these here. Go ahead and click on the update members. No errors, and then this is the list of all the new members that just got inserted into the database. Come over here, do this select again, and here are all the members. As expected, 146 of them got inserted out into the database. All right, so what's going to happen here is if we go back over to reconciliation, we see we don't have any drivers left to reconcile. That's good. Let's go ahead and see what happens if we try to do some more data. And so again, went ahead and uploaded the file. Come over here to reconciliation again. And there's the same 146. Go ahead and click on reconcile. Go all the way to the bottom. And this time around, since it's the exact same file, there's nothing new to add. It's just going to say that, hey, I already have a match on that particular driver. So you can see the percent match is 100 for everything. It's saying that we're going to go ahead and default to use the existing member that's out inside of the database. And then all the fields here have no highlighting on them because all of them match. And so that will happen if there were if the member database was fully blown out. We had everything, all the members for a particular event were already in there. This would be an expected result under the circumstance that all the members were already in the database from a previous event. Let's see what it would look like if we maybe had a change to any of the data. So if we go back up here and let's say that we knew what Tony Adams's SCCA number was. Maybe they had an address change over to, somewhere. So we go ahead and have that edit. Maybe this guy James as well. Let's say he doesn't want to have the middle initial in there any longer. And go ahead and save both of those. And so now we would have had some slightly different data. And you can see we're going to get some highlights. And so this is saying, hey, the field that I have of 999 does not match what I had previously for that member because I didn't have a member number for Tony before. You can see the address is highlighted and showing it's different. Throwing out a percent match field saying it's 90% match. And it says go ahead and update the existing is the default there. Same thing here. So we got a 95% match. So what this is going to do is try and help out the administrator to give them some indications of whether or not this is a good idea to use this existing member and just update them, if they should create a new, or if there's just no changes whatsoever. Again, looking out here, the unique ID field, this is the field that we're getting from both MSR and also getting it loaded in timing and scoring. This field here, as it's a key from MSR, we don't change this field ever, and so it's weighted very highly. And so the reason why we're all the way up at 90% match, even though the SCCA member number doesn't match and the address doesn't match, is because there's such a heavy weighting on this unique ID field that comes from MSR. And so we're pretty well sure that if this field matches, that is the same member that we have inside of our database. And so let's go ahead and save these guys off. Again, no errors. You can see we have those updated fields for these folks. And if we were to go out into the member database again, we'll see that we still have the same 146 entries that were out there before. We didn't actually add any new folks. We just updated some of the existing folks that were there. So this is what the reconciliation process is going to look like for the drivers. The next thing in the works will be the similar process for scoring.